Hey everybody, it's Terry from Trey Runs. Oh, hang on. Hey everybody, it's Terry from Trey Runs Wild. How is that? A little bit better? Well, we're headed up to the land. We're just getting a few supplies from town, and then we're headed up. It's gonna be a busy weekend, but it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so we got a lot of stuff to jam into a few amount of hours. It's 87 degrees right now and sunny, but the temperature's supposed to drop throughout the weekend, so it's probably gonna be about 1,000 million degrees in the cabin when I get up there. So, we're gonna have to get that aired out and maybe do some outside projects first. Maybe that picnic table, huh? All right, stay tuned. I couldn't resist stopping to check out these saunas. Since building a sauna is one of the projects I have on my list up at the land, I thought I would stop and, if nothing else, get some ideas. So this is a kind of a mini project, or a small one. $4,100 for this one. I think I kind of like the one without the porch better because it's bigger. Well, this one's tiny. $3,400. So this one's bigger. This one you definitely could lay down in. Huh. Well, they sure smell good, I can tell you that. Very interesting. Kind of gives me an idea though of how big you would want one. Definitely 6 by 6 is pretty small. I don't remember what the, so 6 by 8, that would be, that might be about right. Oh, pretty cool. Looks like they're made up in the UP of Michigan. Welcome to the land, everybody. Made it up safe and sound. It's gonna be a good day to be up, but it's gonna be a warm one. The cabin's still here. That's a good sign. There's no trees on it. Well, let's see if everything's okay in here. Oh, it looks like it. I don't see any. Smells a little. Huh. Can't tell if it's just the wood I'm smelling from the floor, or if I already have a skunk living underneath here. I can't tell which one it is. Hopefully it's the wood, but I have a feeling it might not be. It is warm in here. Whew. Well, alright everybody, it is so hot in this shed that I've got the windows open and the door open, and it's going to take quite a while for it to cool down. Just hauling in a couple of items and I am sweating already just being in here. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on what I got planned for the weekend. If you're a new viewer and you haven't been watching this series, this is an Amish shed that I am turning into a cabin to live in, or to at least stay in for extended periods. So I've just started the build, and I am doing it as I have the budget and as I have the time. So little things first. On this weekend, I have just a list of things that I'm going to do, and I've just kind of numbered them with order of importance, or at least order of progression. And So of course we got to feed the deer, fill the roof gaps. So some of you are watching my previous video when I was showing you these gaps in the roof and how the ridge cap leaves a little bit of a gap between the roof tin and the ridge cap. And stuff can come in through that gap right there. And so what I was finding is quarter to 50-cent size wolf spiders or fishing spiders were loving the new shack and they were making it their home. So, and I'm not a huge fan of spiders. So what I started doing was putting some gap filler in that crack up there, and that seemed to have kept them out. But there were a couple of you that suggested that this is maybe made on purpose for venting. And I have done some checking and I've done some asking around with some of my construction friends. And if this was just the shed, 100% I would agree that that would act as a way for hot air to escape, but also let critters in. So that's an issue. However, since I am going to be insulating the ceiling, applying vapor barrier, and then tongue and groove pine on the ceiling, that will be an enclosed space in and of itself. So I want to actually fill those gaps having that in mind, because if I don't, those gaps will continue to allow critters to get into the shed. However, now they'll be between the sheathing and the insulation, and they will be free to make their home anywhere they want in that enclosed space. So come winter time, I could even see mice trying to get in here if it's warm in here, or mice, bats especially, and of course spiders, hornets, all that kind of stuff. So one of the things that I'm going to do right away this trip is I am going to seal all of those gaps to keep critters from getting into the shed and behind that insulation. Because if this was an attic, I would leave those open for airflow, but since this will not be an attic, it will just be a vaulted ceiling, I feel like I'm okay in doing that. Also on the list, because I've put down this new floor, one of my subscribers, thank you very much, who is actually a flooring person, recommended that I buy something called a ram board and put that down to protect the floor. So I went to Home Depot and I checked 3 different Home Depot stores, and nobody had ram stock in their inventory with no projected dates to receive. Thank you, COVID and supply chain breakage. So what I did was I went to my local recycling center and I just got a few pieces of large cardboard. And what I plan to do is put that cardboard down on the floor to protect it while I'm continuing construction. And also I'm going to have some scaffolds set up in here, so I don't want that rolling over my nice new floor. So that is the purpose of the cardboard. Okay, we're going to hang some light sockets. I picked up just a couple of light sockets. I'd been trying to decide what I was going to do, but I have decided that all of my lighting is going to be 12 volt. And I do have this last piece. You can't see it because I have just this board laying here, but I do have one last piece of flooring to install, and that's going to be one of my first projects as soon as it cools down. Hurricane ties. So I bought some ties because, as you can see, this is an Amish made shack. It's probably not made to the same requirements as maybe some other builders would use. There are no roof ties, so I did purchase some of those to help secure that roof to the shed frame should we have some really strong winds or whatnot. And what else do we got? Picnic table. Of course, that stupid picnic table. I got to finish that up. Today, I finally remembered to buy the bolts, and I brought my drill, and there should be no reason I can't finish that up. And because it's so hot in the shed right now, that's going to be the first project I'm going to work on. And plus, it's really nice to have a picnic table just to set your gear on and things like that without the boards falling off. So that is going to be the first project of the day. What do you say we get started on that before it gets too dark? So if any of you are new to the channel, this is a series on building up this shed shack into a livable area. So if it's something that you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below, and there's a little bell notification next to the subscribe. If you click that, you will be notified every time I post a new video, so you won't miss any of the progression. Well, the first thing I have to do is take this board out. I thought I was going to be able to cut behind some of this stuff, but I wasn't, and I messed up the screw holes, so this whole board has to be replaced. And I think these ones too maybe have to be, yeah, these ones aren't even bolted in. This is where I ran out of bolts. So I have to drill, and the problem with these end ones is they want to tilt outwards. So I'm gonna have to loosen up the other ones so that they'll lay flat. And then of course I couldn't remember, I thought I had 9/16 bolts, which is what I wrote down, but they didn't have them at Fleet Farm. So of course I ended up getting larger ones. So that's gonna look out of place because some of them are going to be small and some are going to be large, but at this point I just want it done. Guess who bought the wrong size bolts? This guy. You know, I had it written down to 9/16, and I went to my hardware store and they didn't have 9/16. They had 7/16 and 11/16, and I thought, well, it must have been 9/16, and I must have wrote it down wrong. It must have been 7/16, and I must have wrote it down wrong. So I got the 7/16. Nope, too big. And I thought I could just make them work, but nope, the holes in the frame are too small, so they won't work. So I had to take some bolts out of where it fastens into the main part of the picnic table, and we'll see if we can get the big ones through there maybe. Well, this should be good humor. I still am short 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts, but I think I have enough in where I can at least get it onto the posts, because I think I can use the new bolts that I bought that were the wrong size for that. I bought a real nice ribeye to grill tonight, but it's so doggone hot that I'm just really not even hungry. But I know Em is going to want to go out to the lake or something to get dinner tomorrow night, so I think I'm going to cook it up anyway, and if nothing else, you know, I can maybe have it for breakfast. She's not supposed to be here till almost lunchtime, so. Normally I use the gas grill, but I've had my old smoker here for, oh my gosh, probably 15 years. My folks bought it for me for Christmas or something one year, maybe, well, 15 years ago probably, maybe even longer. I think it was longer, and I still got the thing, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna bring it up here and I'm gonna have some charcoal grill, because nothing tastes better than a steak grilled on charcoal, that's for sure. The gas grill just does not cut it. Oh, you hear that? I made this sourdough loaf this morning, and I thought maybe a couple of toasted slices would be perfect for the steak. I'm going to use some of that butter I canned up earlier in the year. It's so nice because it doesn't have to be refrigerated, but I need a can opener, it would be nice. I don't want to break my knife blade. There we go. Canned butter. Who'd have thought, huh? All right, well, I didn't film any of that just because I just had a little strip to run, and you've already seen it if you watched the other video. If you haven't watched the other video on me putting this floor down, I will link it up here or up here, wherever I forget which way it goes. Anyway, so the floor is officially done. Done. So I'm pretty happy with it. I am. But as I mentioned earlier, now I need to protect it while I'm doing the rest of the construction. But one thing I've noticed is it is so dark in here. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is hook up those lights just to get some light in here so I can do some more work. But the floor is officially finished, and I'm very happy that that project is closed up finally. Well, good morning, everybody. It is about 7 o'clock in the morning, and Em is going to get here today sometime. So I suppose we better sweep the spiders out of the outhouse for her. And I guess we better make sure it still works too. Go! Run free! Run free, little guys! Well, I suppose I better make sure it still works. This is why I sweep out the outhouse. How'd you like that jumping down on you when you were doing your thing? I was gonna work on the lights, but I got sidetracked and I decided to set up this scaffold just so I could get it out of the way. I figured out that I'm probably not going to need more than one, well, I wouldn't be able to put more than one set in here anyway, so I want to get this out of here. I just don't want to end up with a bunch of stuff in here junking up the place. But it just suddenly dawned on me, guess what I forgot? I forgot the scaffold planks. Ah! I tell you what, some days, I don't know how I even survive. All right, well, that'll do that. I can't believe I forgot the planks. Ah! So that kind of puts that project on hold. Now, this is not permanent lighting. This is just temporary lighting so I can work in here at night. So we'll be busting my chops now. I got the leads hooked up to the battery. Got them wired into the light switch and wired into 2 bulbs. Let's see if it works. We have lights, ladies and gentlemen. Game changer. Like I said, this is just a temporary, very, very temporary setup. Obviously, when I insulate and everything else, these will come down. And I didn't even drill the hole through the stud. I just ran it on the outside. That's how temporary this is. So, but it gives me light, and that makes a big difference for working at night. And it's just really always dark in here. So, yeah, that's going to be really good. Okay, we just jumped a bear here on the road. It looked like a small cub, maybe, or a yearling at least. Let's see if you can see it. Just ran into the woods through there. And he's probably headed for the cabin. Michelle's giving me a hard time because I left the door open in the cabin. He's going to have some more. There he is right there, see him? Okay, he was right over there. Did you see him? He stood up and looked at me. So Em and I went out to eat after we went canoeing. So we went and ate, and I came back and I cut some wood up, worked on the picnic table, and guess what? Somehow, I have no idea how, somehow we are one bolt short. And I still have to cut the edges of the tabletop, and I have to stain it still. So still some stuff to do. The picnic table project that never ends. But other than that, I got the lights on in the shed. Haven't done the installation because I forgot the scaffold planks. So has not been a very productive trip. However, it's the first time I've been up here in a very long time where I actually did recreational stuff instead of just working chores. So that was good to get out and canoe a little bit. So that was nice, and it was a nice day. So now we're just sitting around the fire. Em's making some s'mores, and I'm gonna turn the dance party lights on pretty quick. And maybe some music, I don't know. And then I think it's gonna be an early night because I think we're both kind of tired out, and we'll catch you guys in the morning. Good morning, everybody. Well, Em and I made it through the night, slept in the cabin for the first time, and it got down to, I would guess, probably mid-50s last night, so it felt cool. Like, I got cold last night. But it's going to be a nice day. It's not going to be super hot today. It's probably going to be like low 70s. But anyway, we're going to go for a hike, and then Em is going to head back home, and I am going to probably work on a couple projects here. So we'll see you in a little bit when we get to the trail.
Warm water or just cold water?
It will be warm. All right, time to shower up. Looks like the water is heated up to about 100 degrees, so it should be comfortable. All right, looks like we're all set. I will catch you guys in a minute. I think I'm gonna grill up some of that bread that I made the other night. It was pretty good. So I think as just a mid-morning snack, it's going to be pretty tasty. That is really good. I do say so myself. Well, this stain I got for free from the recycling center, and it's a few years old. I mean, I've even had it for a few years. So I don't know what to expect, but I'm not going to get real fancy. This is a recycled picnic table, so it's not going to be pretty, that's for sure. We're gonna let this dry for a little bit, and then we're gonna probably put 1 or 2 more coats on it. Like I said, I don't expect it to look pretty. This is more of just to protect it. I probably should have stained them before I put the boards on, but these are all recycled deck boards and ones I'd used for scaffold planks when we were staying in our house, so they're definitely not pretty, but that's all right. We don't need pretty, we need function. So one of the things that I've been having on the list for quite a while is I have this nice popple log, and I want to try to cut some slabs off of it, because one thing I thought I could maybe do is use it for kind of shiplap siding in the porch, maybe where it's protected from the elements. It would be okay. But anyway, I would kind of want to cut it up to see what it even looks like. It's not super smooth, but I mean, that's a decent slab. Well, I got 3 of the 4 sides cut, and then I ran out of gas and my saw blade was getting pretty dull. So I decided to call it for the day. And although I was looking at this and boy, that would make some nice countertop. I was thinking about in the shack making like an island, and if I could slab this out into about 2 to 3 inch planks and then make it like a butcher block table and put like some varnish or poly on that, I think that would look kind of cool. So instead of turning that into a beam, I may cut it the long way to get as much out of it as I can. I don't know, food for thought. All right, well, I'm gonna pack up, and it hasn't been a super productive trip, but you know what? We got to canoe, we got to do a little fishing. Got to do a little hike. It was more of just a weekend for her to get up here and check the progress rather than me just hitting projects. So let's take a look at the chore board. So on this trip, we got the temporary lights wired. We did not fill the roof gaps, did not get the insulation. We finished the floor, yay. Picnic table, doggone it. We have 1 bolt left. We have 1 thing left on the pop log. We have the scaffold set up except for the planks that we forgot. And I got the floor, temporary floor down, and we didn't do the roof ties. So really, we didn't get a whole lot accomplished, but that's okay, because sometimes you just got to come up and have fun too. Because 1 chore board isn't enough. I have a 2nd chore board with more longer term projects. Instead of things like, hey, I want to get accomplished this particular time that I'm up here, it's more about long-term things like, you know, I want to build a sauna, shower house, I want to get the deck and the porch put on here, things like that. So the very next video what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what I have found that's good about the cabin and what is bad about the cabin, and if you should buy an Amish made shed to turn into a tiny home or not. So stay tuned for that one. Also, next weekend I'm probably going to be up with my buddy Scott. We are actually going to a place in northern Minnesota for a Sasquatch Bigfoot conference. Hey, I'm not saying that I believe in it. I'm just saying it might be interesting to hear what other people have to say. Like eyewitness accounts of what they think they saw or what they saw or whatever. So stay tuned. Anyway, we'll catch you in a bit and we'll see you on the next video. Or if you made it this far in the video, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow, and it just is motivating for me to put out more content for you. So thanks for watching. I'm just stopping by. Jonas is here. He's got a couple more cabins out here, and I just wanted to check them out and see, because that one right there looks like a really nice sauna cabin. I should build it myself. And now I'm wondering if I should have done a gambrel roof. Gosh. Oh boy, that's nice. That's pretty nice, eh? Gosh. So that gives me some ideas for sure. Yeah. I wonder if the side, this has got to be about 12 by 22. Insulated. Tyvek. Oh, doggone. Now I'm thinking I should have done some different things. I wonder what the price on this one is. Normally it has the prices out there, but this would be a nice little sauna house. This would be the changing room and the shower room. I could fix that. And this would be the sauna room. Yeah, I could fix this up easy. It's a little rough in here because it's just a shed, but yeah, I could definitely work with this. Definitely work with this. Well, that was pretty interesting to see those little structures that Jonas built. So yeah, if nothing else, it gives me some ideas, but gosh, now I'm wondering if I should have had him do like sheetrock and finish the cabin for me, but I don't know.